sun came up. Good morning. So, little one is sleeping now. She decided at 4 o'clock in the morning that she was hungry. First time in a month that she's woken up like that, so I guess she's allowed to. But Dan took her last night to feed her. So that I could get some sleep. So I was supposed to be sleeping. But I decided to check my phone at 4 o'clock in the morning for some unknown reason and realized that some of my smaller item orders are kind of getting away from me a little. So I was like, oh, I'll just go out to the workshop. I can't sleep anyways. I'll go out to the workshop for a bit, get a few things done. Ended up staying out here till basically 7 a.m. So the sun came up, came inside, came in here, it was dark. Went outside, sun was up. Anyways, I got all these done. So now I have about, I don't know, 20-30 minutes of noisy stuff. And so she's sleeping inside, which is good. And so after that, she can come out. So I'm gonna turn on the baby monitor and get a few things done out here before she wakes up. Well, I feel like I'm half asleep, but I'm gonna get this done. She's happily wiggling. And I should be able to get all of the small orders here done. There's just one more bit of staining on most of them, and then I can start clear coating them. The clear coat is technically water-based, but I don't want her in here while I'm spraying it because the ventilation isn't all that great for that. But I am running the laser because this morning when I was out here pulling all the parts that I need for all these orders, I realized I'm running dangerously low on tops and pre-painted bottoms. So, staining, running the laser, and clear coating, staining the last of those mountain shells. And she gets a wiggle. Good morning, or afternoon, I guess. Yeah, I think it's afternoon. It has been an interesting few days. Little one, well, one of the days this week, little one decided to wake up at 4 in the morning. And I couldn't get back to sleep. So I went up to the workshop and stayed up until 8. Finally getting back to sleep. It's been a rough day or two. Anyways, we've been getting stuff done in the house. Like tomatoes, which were supposed to be canned, and then ended up all of my lemon juice that I need for canning apparently is expired, so that didn't happen. But I think I'll just make the rest of that pot into probably into pizza sauce. Anyways, at the workshop, I've got everything out here is done, just needs to be boxed up. We've been killing time inside, partly in order to get stuff done, like dealing with the tomatoes that I brought in yesterday, a few days ago. Yeah, I'm still tired. Still losing track of my train of thought. Anyways, boxing this up, waiting for the rain to stop, and then maybe actually get outside and start work on the very last outdoor project that we're hoping to complete before it snows or / gets too cold to actually do anything. So. Box is done. Time for food. And I think it's finally stopped raining. So once I get those boxes inside, I can start playing with the logs. And explain the logs. Probably be good. He doesn't realize we can see him. Oh yeah, that is one-eared bunny. Well, since we're out here and walking past, we'll see how Dan's getting along with this hitch. How's it going?
Good, good. Using the grinder and the air chisel, I was able to get all the rust off the old hitch. Now I'm ready for priming.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
One less thing we have to replace.
Yeah, why not? Saves a lot of money there. But I was thinking of just trying to find a piece of sheet metal and welding it over that, because it's not structural. They just put that there because whatever, it's the piece.
Are you having fun in your workshop?
Yeah.
Are you happy we built you a floor last year?
Most definitely.
Last year, this was my wood storage. But we decided to, well, I needed to kick him and the motorcycles out of my shop. So we emptied this. And a buddy of mine came over, we reinforced the foundation, so it's a stone foundation. And we built a nice solid 2x10 wall with 3/4 inch plywood. So you can actually drive motorcycles on here. And I got my workshop back. It's not heated, but he's got electricity, he's fine. I'm never giving up this hoodie ever. Okay. We're done food. Got in a nice little sweater, little teddy bear ears on it. And I'm gonna show you guys, or explain to you guys, why I have logs in the backyard. So this is our garden, as you've seen a few times. So the majority of the garden is on this side. Then we have this pathway through here, just so we can get to the actual side yard. And then we have this section of the garden over here. And you might notice there is a random gap right here. That's because when we designed where the garden beds were going to go, this was and still is going to be where we're going to put a greenhouse. So it'll sit somewhere kind of right there. So last spring we put in the majority of the garden. Well, we put in all these garden beds you see. We put in these. Dan's trying to repair that section of the hitch. Anyways, we put in all these garden beds last year. These ones included. And then we got busy actually with the actual garden itself, along with other things. And the intention was this spring to put in the greenhouse back there. Only problem is, when we went to go look at putting the greenhouse in this year, one, all of the kits that I could find opened from the end, and we want one that opens from the middle outwards into that kind of laneway between the two sections of garden. As you saw on the screen when I put there, that didn't come as a kit, or if it did, it came as a kit that was well outside of our price range. Well outside of our price range. And even with just straight building materials, it was going to be a little bit ridiculous this year because of supply chain issues and, you know, lumber jumping 3 times the price of what it was within a month or so. So that brings me to this area. So the idea here is we're going to build it, but not out of 2x4s and such. Well, there might be some, I don't know, I haven't completely decided. But the point is the posts, there's 8 corner posts in the design I've done, and we are going to make them out of those. So I'm not too fussy about the inside of the logs being squared off, but I do want the 4 actual corner posts to be squared, the 2 posts on either side of the door to be squared, just basically on 2 sides, and then there's 2 more posts to kind of match the doorway on the opposite side, but that'll be a flat wall. So basically, I need to get those things somewhere. Preferably it'd be nice if they weren't soaking wet, but that's fine. And I don't want to bring them into the shop because I don't want that mess inside the shop. But basically I need to get them up on the sawhorses and debark them and clean up 1 to 2 sides of each of those posts, and then not next weekend because it's Thanksgiving, and maybe, so I guess maybe the weekend after or the week after, I don't know. Sometime before it snows, put the posts in the ground. Sometime before the ground freezes. I can do most everything else after the ground freezes, but I need the posts in the ground. I need to at least dig the holes for the posts before the ground freezes, because that's just not happening. Anyways, we're gonna get someone's chair. Hilariously cute in that knit thing. We're gonna get her chair, figure out where to get her set up, and start working on post.
Farmer Dan here. This thing on? I can never tell. I can never tell if they're recording.
Alright, so I'm only gonna be able to test my theory, if anything. She's not actually crying, she's just very excited about the monkey. Alright, because of the light, or lack thereof, the spotlight at the moment is lighting me up. Probably only going to be able to test this theory, if anything. But the first thing to do, got the log up on their sawhorses here. First thing I need to do is get all the bark off, because if I leave the bark on, it will encourage the log to rot. Even though it's a cedar post, it'll encourage it to rot if I leave the bark on. So debarking first. Oh good, the spotlight just turned off. I just spent more time than I'd care to admit trying to find this tool in my shop. The joys of the tools you have that you use like once in a blue moon, but are really important when you need them. So this is an old type of tool. It's not an old tool, but it's an old style tool. And this is a draw knife used to, amongst other things, debark. So I've got some bungee cords to try and make sure this thing doesn't fall off while I'm trying to work on it. And then we're just gonna cut the bark off and go from there. And it's just another one. Bark. Some of the logs we have back there, the farmer we bought them from, it obviously been sitting, some of them had been sitting there for obviously over a year because they were dry and a lot lighter. And some of them were fresh from this spring. For one or another, they've all been sitting there all summer. So. Going to take a little while.